welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and I am your host. When we went to break, talking with George Holland. George is the president of the NAACP Oakland branch. George, let's talk for a moment about some of the problems confronting us here locally, such as the crime and the murder rate here in Alameda County, here in Oakland in particular. Any thoughts or comments on that?
Yeah, we have asked that the police chief, Chief LaRon Anderson, come to our meeting.
Armstrong.
Armstrong, excuse me, Anderson.
No problem.
Armstrong, to come to our meeting to address this issue that we're concerned about of violence in the community. I had the good fortune of sitting with Chief Armstrong last week at the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce yearly event. And so I had a brief conversation with him, not so much about what was going on, because you know what he's doing. He's visible. When there's a murder and he can attend, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the issue of people saying that to defund the police, we need more police officers.
What's your position on defunding the police?
You can't do that. That's not possible. I mean, you can do it, but it's dangerous.
It wouldn't make any sense.
No, because you're saying that you have an increase in crime. It's inconsistent to say that if you decrease the number of police officers, then that crime could be dealt with. No, it can't be dealt with. Yes, there's.
Well, how could it possibly be dealt with if the number of crooks are not decreasing?
There's an escalation of persons who are participating in crime, unfortunately. I had the unfortunate experience of last Wednesday night being on the freeway on 580 going home, and there was an incident on Seminary. I was on the freeway for 55 minutes, for the most part, stop and go traffic. 55 minutes. And I was concerned about what had happened. There was a shooting up near Seminary, where unfortunately a couple of people died. You know, and you just don't believe that, just going home on the freeway is going to be a shooting that's going to impede all the traffic. But I had also, someone sent me a tape, person who lives on Golf Links Road, some of you may have seen it on television, where she had the unfortunate experience of having someone come into her home and also go into her vehicle, and she went out. She didn't shoot the person, she could have, but she shot 3 times up in the air, and the police came to her home, and the first question they asked, "Where's the gun?" Well, it's not so much, "Where's the gun?" She said, they asked for the gun. She says, "I'm not going to give you my gun because it took you folks 15 minutes to get here, and if I give you my gun, who's going to protect me?" So we have to get a better communication between our citizens and our police department. But it has to be a positive communication.
And what is the NAACP? Is the NAACP doing anything in particular to?
Yeah, we have one of our committee chairpersons works regularly with the police, concerned about the crime issues. We have regular reports on what, unfortunately, crimes that occur in our city. And what we try to do about that, we try to address the issues of trying to teach the kids very early in life to respect the rights of others. To respect the rights of others. That's overlooked so too often, because if you're trained to not get involved in negative activity, if you're school-oriented, work-oriented, community-oriented, you can avoid those kind of things.
And church-oriented.
Of course, church.
Because people used to go to church, but a lot of people now don't even go to church.
My regular statement when I meet people and as I address them regarding what they can do to minimize crime, I tell parents, because I experienced it. My mom said, if you don't go to church, you don't go to the movies. So I went to church regularly. But I think also you keep in mind that that's a discipline lesson. If you can have your children do things that they don't want to do, that's positive in the sense that you are showing discipline. So if they can control their desire to do something negative and do something positive, like going to church, as their parents say, because my mom told me, she said, "Boy, you have never missed a party because of illness, so you don't miss school because of illness, or church, because we go coughing and almost dying, and we go to get to a party. I'm not going to stay home and miss no party, because you need to know what's going on in the community, and so those kind of activities that when you're growing up, they're too positive for you. You believe, but it's a negative. You have to, if you're going to be successful. I believe, honest to goodness, this is a statement I should not make because people hold me to it.
Well, you're going to make it anyway. I know you well enough, George. Go ahead on, make the statement.
It's not difficult to be successful. And it's not difficult to be rich. And I always say that if you spend less than you make, you're going to have some money left over.
Right.
My mom was the best financial advisor I ever had, and I didn't listen because she always had a tobacco pouch with money in it attached to her bra. I mean, she always had
And there's
cash.
a lesson there,
That's
George.
lesson.
Don't spend more than you make,
right.
because if you spend more than you make, at the end of the day, you're going to be broke.
Yeah, amen.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to go to time, but go to break. But it is so important to remember that education really involves values, and you get values from going to church and being taught. Don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris, and my guest is George Holland, President, NAACP.